via YouTube streaming and via Skype. This week we are off on Facebook because of certain reasons. So each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra understand the whole mechanism of the mind. Mind is very tricky. First, try to understand the whole working of the mind and then it is good not to fight. Then it is good to flow as you are and accept it. But we are afraid. Because if we accept, then how will we change? This is the question remains in everybody's mind. Tantra says acceptance is transcendence. You have tried fighting and you have not changed. No result came. Look at the whole life, analyze it, and if you are honest, you will know that you have not changed a little bit, not an inch. Move back towards your childhood. Analyze your whole life. And no matter what you may be talking and thinking, what logics you may be giving, the exact actual life has remained the same. And you have been fighting continuously. Nothing happened out of it. Sometimes you find the people who are harming themselves, you find them good because they are fighting, and you find that these people are very good. They are really ascetics, they are very highly spiritual. But when you look at your entire life, you will see that all your life you have been fighting from childhood to now. Fighting with this, fighting with that, fighting against, and you think fight, through the control. You are controlling the thoughts, you are controlling this and that, and nothing has happened, not even an iota of change has taken place. Tantra says, now do not fight. No one ever changes with fight, except then there is no question of what is indulgence and what is repression and what is celibacy and what is this and that. You want to be healed. You are fighting against the symptoms of the body. There is no question remains when you accept whatsoever is, you accept it and then flow with it. You dissolve your ego in that. The resistance is dissolved. You relax into existence and go wherever it leads. If the destiny of the existence is that you are meant to be an animal, then Tantra says be an animal. What will happen out of it? And how does this happen? Tantra says total transformation happens. Because once you accept, the inner division dissolves. In acceptance, the division dissolves. You become one. Then there are not two in you, the saint and the animal. One who wants to heal, the saint repressing the animal, and animal throwing the saint out aside every moment. There are two. This is the continuous fight. In acceptance, you become one. And this oneness gives energy. All your energy is wasted in inner fight and conflict. This acceptance makes you one. Now there is no animal who is condemning and no saint who needs and who is being appreciated. You are whatsoever you are. You have accepted it. You are relaxed with it. So your energy becomes one. Then you are whole, not divided against yourself. This wholeness is alchemical transformation. With this wholeness, you have energy to transform yourself, to heal. Now you are not wasting your life, you are not wasting your energy. There is no conflict. You are at ease within. This energy which you gain through non-conflict becomes your awareness. It transforms you. Energy can move in two dimensions. It can move in fight, as it is happening regularly. You are fighting it, you are wasting it through the fight every day. If it accumulates and there is no fight, a moment comes, just like when you go on heating the water and it reaches the 100 degrees Celsius, then water becomes something else. It evaporates, it becomes steam. Then it is no more liquid, it becomes gaseous. It will not become transformed at 99.9 degrees Celsius. It will become transformed only at 100 degrees Celsius. The same happens in worlds. You are wasting your energy every day, and the evaporating point never comes. You can go on heating the water, but the temperature has not reached. In order to transform water from liquid into the gaseous state, the temperature must reach 200 degrees Celsius. It cannot come because energy is not accumulating at all. Once the inner fight is not there, energy goes on accumulating and you feel more and more strong. But not the ego. Ego feels strong only through the fight. When there is no fight, ego becomes important. You feel strong, and that you is totally different things. You cannot know about it unless you are whole. Ego exists with fragments, divisions. This you, the self, or we call soul, or ruh, or atma, exists only when there is no division. It is born only when there is no division. Atman means the ruh, the soul means the whole. Self means the undivided energy. Once this energy becomes undivided, it goes on accumulating. You are producing it every day. Life energy is produced in you, but you go on fighting. You are wasting it in fighting. The same energy comes to a point where it becomes awareness. This is automatic. It comes to a point where it becomes the healing energy. Tantra says it is automatic. Once you know how to be whole, you will become more and more aware. And one day will come when your total energy will be transformed into awareness. When the energy is transformed into awareness, miracles happen, many things happen, because then energy cannot move into sex, energy cannot move into diseases. When it moves to a higher dimension, it will move It will not move to the lower dimension. Your energy goes on moving continuously to lower dimension because there is no higher in you. And you do not have the level of energy where it can move into the higher. So it moves into 6. It moves into 6 and you become afraid of it. You start fighting with it. It moves into disease and you go on fighting against it. So you create the idea of celibacy, you create the idea of healing, you become divided. Then you become less and less energetic and energy is wasted. This is a very potent experience, that when you are weak, you feel more sexual, you feel more sick. This looks absolutely absurd in biological terms because biology says that when you are more potent, you will be more sexual. But when you are weak, you feel sexual. But such is not the case. When you are weak, you will feel more sexual. When you are healthy and a subtle well-being is there, you will not be sexual. And the quality of sex in that case will also be different. The quality of health will also be different. When you are weak, sexuality will be a sort of disease, as it always happens. And a vicious circle will be created out of it. Through sex, you will become more weak and more weak, because the more sexual you feel, and sex will become cerebral. Your disease will become cerebral. It will move into your head. When you are healthy, when a well-being is there, when you feel blissful, relaxed, you are not so sexual, then even if sex happens, it is not a disease, rather it is an overflowing. A totally different quality is there. When sex is an overflowing, it is just love expressing itself through the bioenergy. It is creating a deep sharing, a deep contact through the bioenergy. It is part of love. Only then sex becomes love. When you are weak, sex is not overflowing. It is violence against yourself. And when it is violence against yourself, it is never love. A weak person can have sex, but his sex will not become love. It is more or less rape, and rape to both the parties, to himself also it is rape. And then a vicious circle is created. The more weak you feel, the more sexual you feel. But why does it happen? Biology has no explanation for it, but Tantra has an explanation. Tantra says sex is an antidote against death. Sex is an antidote against death. Sex means life for society. You may die, but life will continue. So whenever you feel weak, death is near. Tantra says that then sex will become important because you may die any moment. Your energy layers are going down. You may die at any moment. So indulge in sex so someone can live. Life should go on. But for Tantra, old men are more sexual than young ones. And this is a deep insight. Young ones are more sexual potent. They are sexually more potent, but not so sexual. Old men are less sexually potent, but more sexual. So if we can enter an old man's mind, then we know what is happening. And this continuously goes on happening. As far as bioenergy is concerned, it is less in old men and more in the young ones. But as far as sexuality is concerned, sexuality means, what is sexuality? Sexuality means thinking about sex. It is more in old men than in young. Death is coming near, and sex is antidote to death. So now the weakening energy would like to produce someone. Life must continue. Life is not concerned with you. It is concerned with itself. And this is the vicious circle. And the same happens in the reverse order. If you are overflowing with energy, sex becomes less and less important, and love becomes more and more important. And then sex can happen just as part of love, as a deep sharing. The deepest sharing of the deepest sharing can be of the bioenergy, because this bioenergy is the life force. To whomsoever you love, you want to give something. Giving is a part of love. In love, you give things. The greatest gift can be of bioenergy of yourself. In love, sex becomes a deep gift of bioenergy, gift of life. You are giving a part of yourself. Really, every act of sex you are giving, through every act of sex you are giving yourself totally. Then a different circle is created. The more you feel love, the more you become strong. The more you feel love, the more you share love, then the more strong you become, because in love ego dissolves. In love you flow with life. You need not flow with life in politics. Rather, you will be a fool if you flow with life in politics, because you have to force yourself against your life. Only then you can rise in politics. If you are doing business, you will have to fool. You have to be a fool if you flow with life. You will be nowhere, because you have to fight. You have to compete. And in competition you become violent. The more violent, the more mad, the more you will succeed there. This is a struggle. We will leave it here to create more urge to know. We will continue in the next session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.